Hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, I think it's working. I apologize for that. Yeah, there it is. All right. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. I'm going to be looking at the comments now. Thank you guys so much for. Oh, thank you for the fresh haircut. Let me just shout out some of my people. So we're starting off the year with our first struggle stream. No audio. Yeah, haircut fresh though. Yeah, I got the Hawaiian shirt on, and I'm fresh today. I wanted to start the year off a little bit better. So I guess we'll start over from the beginning. So if you don't know me, my name is Ron Pruitt. This is the Black Tech Experience. I am a struggle streamer. And so yeah, I want to just say that this year in 2025, I'm going part-time in my channel, which is if you don't know, if you haven't looked at the title, it's why I am leaving Amazon. Let me see. I'm going to why I have left. The title is why am I leaving Amazon? But I've already left Amazon. I've already quit, and I'm going to go into that a little bit more. But want to engage with my followers a little bit more. Shout out to Joseph. So, yeah, like it's been a crazy journey. Like, I think some of you guys who have been rocking with me last year, you have put up with a lot of technical difficulties in me being a novice in streaming. And I think a part of that was because I had to work so hard at Amazon. I can't talk about how many hours, but it was intense. And so now that I've quit, I have a lot more energy and time to give to you guys. And I'm really excited for that. I really want to make this channel a home for indie hackers. So perhaps I'm going to start this off by talking a little bit about where I envision the channel for 2025. So I want to create a community of indie hackers. People who want to build apps in order to escape their jobs or escape working for people. I think that, and this is no diss at Amazon. I'm going to talk about why I left Amazon in a bit, but I think people, last year I always told people that FAANG is overrated. But at the same time, it was like I was applying to get into these jobs like Meta or whatever. And I kind of felt like I betrayed a little bit of, my actions were not lining up with my words in that sense. Because, I have worked, I've been at like Amazon, Twitch, and Google, right? I've seen the highest that a company has to offer their employees as far as benefits. And I still hear people complain that it's not it's not a perfect lifestyle. Like I've seen people climb the ladder at Google and they feel frustrated because they're not able to get a promotion. They feel like they deserve more promotions at a faster pace, but they weren't able to get it due to bureaucracy, right? Like it's not, you would be surprised how much paperwork a company like Amazon, who has 1 million employees, has to do in order to promote somebody to the next stage. And so let me double check that you guys can't hear that noise coming out of my apartment. Okay. Let me know if the audio is bad, if anybody's listening. But yeah, I don't think people's perfect life is at Google. Like, honestly, I've heard people say things like Google, you don't really get to learn as much about building software at Google because everything is abstracted. They already have these tools in order for people to scale up for 1 million. And so nobody's going to build anything from scratch or build it like they were an actual employee. And so my understanding is that if I worked at one of these FAANG companies, right, that they would teach me the things that I need to know in order to start my own business. And I think some FAANG companies, like I will say Amazon definitely does teach people good business fundamentals, in my opinion, comparatively to other companies that I've been at. But yeah, I think that's the wrong way to go about it. I think that if you are, I think that I believe in apprenticeships. I believe in mentoring, and I believe in communities. And so that's exactly what I want to create is a community full of indie hackers and people that are you want to learn what it takes to build up an app. Because if you know Peter Levels has never worked at a FAANG company. He doesn't have a computer science degree. And he's built, I think, like 5 different software apps, software as a service, just like an email list. Or no, like I think he's the owner of Remote OK. And so Remote OK is a company that just posts jobs about remote jobs. And I think that a computer science student with with um, a minimal background in computer science can do that, but they don't have the business understanding in order to do that. And so, but imagine you with a mentor like me being able to help you make products like that, right? Being able to hold you accountable, being able to give you emotional support. I think this will help you get to making, let's say, like $5,000 from your own software as a service, right? That's my goal for this year. Is I want to make $5,000 from my different business ventures, and so that's enough to be free to travel wherever you want. I think this is the life that I want for myself, and I would like to be able to give my FAANG experience to you guys in order to help you build those apps. So if you're interested in being mentored by me, I'm going to my Patreon. Hopefully, is in the. It may not be in the. I think it's at my channel. Look for my YouTube channel or look for the Black Tech Experience on Patreon. I'm doing $50 for to be a part of my group, and yeah, I think some of you might think that's a lot, but comparatively to what that's like, I can't tell you guys how much of my success has been through my mentors challenging me and coaching me, and I honestly pay $400 for coaching, and so and I enjoy it a lot. So I think it's well worth the price. And if you don't think so, that's all good. I'm going to be making a lot more content for you this year since I've quit my job. I'm a part-time creator. I'll be spending part of my time making these videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to be going live from, I think this time is really good for me, 12:30 on the Pacific Coast. So that should be, I don't know if you're on the East Coast, it's like 2, 3. I'll be going live every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and when I have a deadline, I'll probably be going multiple lives in a row. And so let's see if I have any more questions. Shout out to you guys for bearing with me. So I guess I'll go into my video about why I left Amazon. So I think many of you guys are expecting that I'm going to bash Amazon. I think many of you guys have questions that, like, what is it as toxic as they say? And unfortunately, I can't answer those questions. I signed an NDA before when I was an employee of Amazon, and so I'm not at liberty to speak on specific things about Amazon. Obviously, I can offer my opinions and critiques, but there's a limit to what I can talk about. And so if you're asking me, and the funny thing is I'm a live streamer, right? Which is even more kind of challenging for me, because it's like, I want to be out here. I want to be vulnerable with you guys. I know you guys have appreciated content like that. And I always have to tiptoe around the things that I'm saying about Amazon, because that NDA does last for the rest of my life. And so if you guys have, in the future, if you guys have any questions about what happened or why I'm leaving, I'm going to point you to this video. But yeah, I'll give you the spoiler alert just in case you are new. I don't regret working for Amazon, right? Like I've stayed there for a year and a half now, and I don't regret it. I think if I could go back in time and tell myself, give myself some advice, I would say that it's going to be one of the most painful experiences of your life, and it will also be one of the most rewarding at the same time. And so I think that's the beauty of Amazon. So I wanted to start off this video by talking about the differences between Twitch and Amazon. So I worked at Twitch on the ads measurements team, and basically what I was doing there was I was moving data about how the user was interacting with the Twitch player to third parties in order to help get more money for creators. And working for Twitch was super beautiful. It was surreal. It was like it had the vibe of like going to go find the One Piece. It's just, there was no darkness about it. We all felt like we were contributing positively to the world. And don't get me wrong, it was competitive. At the same time, it was really, it made you feel good. It was work that energized you. And I could tell at Twitch, the culture was set up so that people could, what is the word? People would be there for 4, 5, 10 years. Like they really wanted you there. And at Amazon, it felt like just a completely different style. It felt way more competitive, in the sense that, you know, people were working many hours and burning out. And it was a lot easier because at Amazon to me has one of the best products in the world, which is the Amazon Prime. And I don't think people understand what it takes in order to make people, like when you click the Amazon Prime app and you are able to get your package in 2 days, I don't think people understand how much blood, sweat, and tears the employees of Amazon have to go through in order to make that possible on a day-to-day basis. And even though Amazon is killing the game with Amazon Prime, I was working for Amazon Prime Air, which is delivering packages with drones and what we hope to be 2-hour delivery. And so even though Amazon is killing the game, they're working like the rent is due in order to do even better than that. And I think that's just amazing. I feel very happy that I'm an alumni of a company like that because, yeah, as far as business excellence, I think it's hard for me to see other companies in that same way, because think about it at Google, right? I think Google, in comparison, is known for being a little bit more chill of a culture, but at the same time, I imagine, right? Because I was only an intern, I imagine it's a lot harder for them to put pressure on their employees like they do at Amazon, where it's more of a hire fast, fire fast culture, but at Google, it's more of a like hire slow, fire slow type of culture. And because of that, I think there's a lot of good things. I think if you have a entrepreneurial spirit, I think Amazon could be a great learning experience for you. Um, so yeah, it's like when you think about Twitch compared to Amazon, Twitch is still struggling to be profitable. Or so they say, right? Like YouTube took a long time to become profitable, and that was it. The content creation game is hard, and so even though I enjoy, like, if I had to go back and choose a culture to grow my career, I would obviously choose Twitch. I think there are some tremendous benefits to working for Amazon. But I definitely agree it's not for everybody. It's definitely something. When I worked at Amazon, it felt like my whole life was revolved around my job. And I think they want that dedication from you. And I had a lot more responsibility and I learned a lot more. So I guess that's a little bit of the differences between Twitch and Amazon. So I have five, I believe, yeah, or three lessons that I would like to talk about as far as my journey at Amazon, which is what I learned along the way and how I grew from it. So I think the number one lesson that I learned at Amazon is how important the business impact is over the technical perfection. So when I worked at Amazon, I found that the technical excellence was a lot worse compared to the places that I used to be at. Like it was bad documentation, in my opinion, and it always felt like I was working with somebody had made a dirty kitchen and left, and I had to like work at breakneck speeds in order to cook when I didn't have time to clean up. And so, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to it's tough, but I understand that the business is important. Like it doesn't matter if you have the prettiest code in the world if you're not making a dollar, if you're about to run out of money next month. And so business and art always fight, right? Like, do we prepare for the future or do we make something profitable today? I think obviously, if we try to make the prettiest thing, those businesses tend to fail. It has to be in good balance. And although I don't like the balance of Amazon, I think I understand why they were able to be successful, because I think Meta has a good model for this. It's done is better than perfect. And so once something is done, you can make money from it and perfect it later. So number two, what I've learned is that your environment really matters, right? You have to be around people that are willing to invest in you. You have to have team members that are willing to mentor you. And I felt like I did not get as much support as I would have liked. And I think that's one of the reasons why I ended up leaving. It's just I didn't feel I've given, inches of my life to the business, and I didn't feel like I was getting the support that I needed in order to perform at my best. Excuse me. I'm getting a little choked up. I thought for a long time that if I just worked hard, that I could overcome some of the issues that I was going through. But that is what is the word? That's not the truth. Like, life is not an anime. Like, you think some of you might think that like having a tough challenge, like not having a senior engineer on your team, gives you the opportunity to become a senior engineer faster if you have the right work ethic. But what I have seen from that is that, or what I've experienced from that is that if you want to work at a level above where you're at, you're going to have to sacrifice some of your energy in life to do that. And I think, a part of me loved what I was doing and loved the opportunities, and I didn't know where I would get another chance to do those things. So I stayed. And in the midst of staying, I became sick. I actually ended up getting GERD, going to the ER because I couldn't breathe. Right? I think when you work too much, you your body starts to break down. Your body starts to break down, and yeah, it's not a good look. And so I think I should have pushed back more. Like, I thought that, you know, people would have respected me more since I was showing up a lot and even when I was sick. But at the end of the day, Amazon is a very results oriented business. And so, although I've probably given more to the company than anybody on my team, um, I still could not do the work of a senior. So I did not get as much appreciation for that type of, like what I said earlier with that anime, right? Imagine some character coming in and they're sick and they still show up to fight, right? You think, and like in a perfect world, that person would like beat the guy. Like, that's not how life works. Or they would grow or something. Unfortunately, Amazon definitely has that feel of a company that it felt like being in like a old school like boxing gym where they don't believe in drilling techniques. They only believe in sparring. Like, it's very results oriented, and it's definitely prone to make people burn out. And so, I guess with my closing thoughts, your career is a marathon, not a sprint. Um, if you focus on the right priorities, like the business impact, that's how you get promoted. If you focus on these things, then that's how you get promoted a lot faster. Let me know in the comments what you think about me leaving Amazon. If you've been in Amazon, um, yeah, I don't want this to turn into bashing Amazon. I truly am thankful from the bottom of my heart for the opportunity that I received. I would have liked to leave on better terms, but that's life. Sometimes you win. I think Steve Jobs has this quote: "Sometimes you win, and other times you build a character." And so it felt like 2024 was definitely a year building character for me. And so, yep, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, I guess for the next part, I'm going to be transitioning into talking about what I think what do I think my chances are of getting a job in 2025. And this is going to be really important for you guys if you are into what is the word? If you are looking for a job, I think this is going to be a very important video for you. So let me look at the comments. So yeah, it looks like my brother's in here. What's up? Hopefully everybody can hear. I'm gonna check the audio one last time. All right, that looks all right to me. Audio is good. Thank you, my guy. All right. Do you guys have any questions that you want me to answer on that topic? Of course, I may not be able to say too much about Amazon, but I did want to at least talk to y'all a little bit about it. No. All right. So I guess we'll go straight into the next video. Let me just pull out. I got to pull up my resume for you guys. Somebody said, or my guy Joseph has said, let me pull it up. JP Morgan is requiring 5 days a week in the office. And he wants to know, do I think the days of remote work are over? Unfortunately, I do think that most companies understand that they have more, what is the word? They have a better productivity when people are in the office. As someone who worked for Twitch remotely and someone who's worked for Amazon 3 days a week in the office, I can honestly say that I was way more productive in the office. However, I felt like my work-life balance and my what is the word? My happiness was much higher on when I was working at Twitch. And so I do think as time goes on, that companies are going to continue to try to bring people back into the office where they have more of an overseer's eye over people. And however, there are still companies in the world that there are many jobs. There are many jobs in this world that are okay with you being remote as long as you have skill and talent. I think once you get to a certain threshold in your career where you have proven that you can build products, then it's a lot easier to sell on you being remote. Will those remote jobs pay as much as in the office? I don't think so, but they will be there. And so, yeah, I think it's okay. Like, I think most of my career has been focused on, these FAANG companies, but there's so many companies out there that are willing to be remote, and I think they don't have some of the issues that bigger companies have. So, present. Interesting. All right. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to share my screen. Yeah, that'll be right. Oh, let me take that down. Remove. I don't know why that did that. All right, add to the stage. So this is my resume as far as 2025. So, all right, let me pull this back up. Let me see if my hotkeys still work in here. There we go. All right. My name is Romy Pruitt, and this video is about an ex-FAANG black tech engineer's look at how he that's terrible. What a terrible start. All right. Hello, my name is Romy Pruitt, and I am a ex-black FAANG software engineer, and today I'm going to be reviewing my resume in front of you guys. I'm going to be showing you the weaknesses of my resume, as well as, the companies that I have trying to interview me right now, and what do I think about my chance of getting a job in 2025. And so, yeah, I guess we can get straight into it. So I graduated from Cornell Tech at Cornell University in 2020 during the pandemic. So if you don't know, Cornell is it's Cornell. They have a master's program that's focused on entrepreneurship in New York. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Depending on your needs, I can talk about that a little bit. I think my time at a master's degree is not. If you're thinking about getting a master's degree in AI, I don't know if that's necessarily worth it because um, there's so much free material out on the internet for you, and you can join a community. Very big on communities. I think the one thing that I disliked about my master's degree is that I did not get a lot of one-on-one time with my professors. I was in a room of like 200, and so when you're in a room with all those people, they don't really have time for you. But I do think I learned a lot about business, like big corporations, startups. I was around a lot of important people. I got my network out, and I was able to capitalize in order to get into M&T, and perhaps it helped me get into Twitch as well. So yeah, I graduated from Fisk University with my computer science degree in 2018, WB honors. I don't think it means that much. So I think the big thing that people are going to see when they look at my resume is that I have a lot of AWS experience. So I was a software engineer at Amazon for a year and 6 months. I need to put the end date. I finished up in 2014. And yeah, I worked at Twitch for 1 year, almost exactly, remotely in San Francisco. You see a little bit of like enzyme. I have not used ChatGPT to help make some of this stuff a little bit better. I think you see a little typo right there. I need to go back and fix that. And so, yeah, what's funny to me is that I don't think people care. Like, I've honestly had typos in my resume, and because I have, I guess, some of the bigger names, they don't really like look down upon it. But at the same time, I don't think that necessarily my resume will get looked at favorably at every company. And so, yeah, I was a junior engineer, a junior developer at M&T, just moving data, SQL scripts, and all that. And then finally, contracted in the industry. And then I have open source experience in case you guys want to see coding samples. And so, yeah, I was looking at my resume the other day and I was like, man, like I was feeling down on myself because of the Amazon stuff. But I realized, like, with a resume like that guy has worked extremely hard. And so, what's the issue? Why? And I guess I'll spoil it for you right now, is that I'm not planning on getting a job in 2025 or looking for one, hopefully, if things go right, is that here's what people are going to say the weaknesses about my resume. So I'll pull it up again. Let me pull it up. So what people are going to say about my resume is that they feel like I'm a junior engineer, which means that they are going to lowball me if I try to go work. Like, let's say I go over to Reddit right now, right? They're going to say, Rami has never delivered a product from start to finish. That's why they promote people at companies, is because they earn them millions of dollars. So if you look at, generally, when you look at the leveling guidelines at a company, they generally say that a junior engineer is able to write code, but a mid-level engineer is capable of delivering a project that moves the needle for the company in whatever fashion. They don't necessarily have to do everything, but at Amazon, they say, like, you don't have to deliver a feature all at once. You just have to demonstrate that you can do every part of the process at least once: design, test, and push a product. And so, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. Let Let me go back. I don't know. Looks like my document just froze or whatever. Let me see if I can make it. Whatever. As I try to fix that. People are going to say that my resume is not that good for those reasons. And, you know, I've heard people say, like, I've interviewed with companies like Microsoft, and they've been like, hey, like, I see you never stay anywhere for a year. Well, at the time of me writing this, I got it to work again. So pull it up. I have been working in the pandemic, which has been a very volatile place for software engineers. Is that during the pandemic, you know, we had the big tech layoffs, and right now we're in a down period as far as software engineering. So some of you guys that think that it just froze again for whatever reason. So I guess that's not going to work for me. So for even you guys who feel like you're mad because you didn't get a opportunity like me to test your skills, like even me, like I don't get good looks for promotions or whatever. Like when a company is doing bad, like people who want to become seniors, they are more critical of those guys that want to become seniors and whatever. And so I'm not necessarily happy with what I could get as a software engineer in 2025. So let's pull up let's see if we can pull up what I could get if I were a software engineer at Reddit. So Reddit software engineer salaries. So I pulled up the salary. So here's what the leveling guidelines at a company, like a big tech company, like a FAANG level tech company. It goes, I think I would get like a IC2, maybe. Yeah, they might even try to give me an IC1, right? And tell me like, hey, like if you just work hard, you're gonna get promoted really fast. Excuse me. If you but I honestly think that I'm worthy of an IC3, right? 270 is around what I think that my skill set is worthy of. I may not have my resume might tell you that I'm not ready for that, but and that's another thing with companies. It's like you are like a manager has to give you an opportunity to prove that you're an IC3. And so if you're not, I've heard of engineers quitting teams or switching teams because they see that their manager is feeding somebody else, right? They're trying to set somebody else up for promotion. Excuse me. They're trying to set somebody else up for promotion. And there's only so many promotions that a team can give to somebody. And so that's why people have to like move around in the industry, is that they're looking for a team that is not so dysfunctional that nobody can win, but at the same time, it's chaotic enough that they can come in and make a change in that community. And so looking at that, I'm not really satisfied with what I can get. And then on top of that, let me get a close up on me. It looks like my internet is not doing that well. On top of that, I just want to tell you guys that there is a lot of cheating. Actually, number one, I hate leetcode. I think leetcode is a terrible metric in order to judge somebody's ability to be a software engineer. I have never once. I want to say 99% of the time, leetcode has never come up into my job. There are many things that I would say are more important than being good at LeetCode. Like I heard building a business is way bigger of a sign that you are ready for senior level projects, because in business problems, you have to solve a lot of different problems and wear a lot of different hats. Being well-rounded in all these different skill sets will help you on a job, regardless of what they're doing. Obviously, there are people that are like specialists, people who study their ass off in C++ and they know this image processing algorithm. They can do it from heart, right? They're finding more performant ways to do things. Those people are always going to be needed, but generally those with a high enough. I've seen engineers come into my team that don't know anything about the business, and they're able to make an impact because they're already well versed in those tools and they have a good understanding of how business works. Where I've seen other people come in and they struggle and they have a good idea of what their old business is, but they don't have the business fundamentals yet of a new business. And so I think being able to prove that you can build a product up from the ground up, right? Like if I could go on, let's see if I can pull up LinkedIn right now. I could go on LinkedIn right now and I could find jobs that say, we want a founding engineer. I'm going to do that right now. Let me make sure I don't have any questions. So I'm going to pull that up. My network jobs messaging. Let me just mark this moment. So I am looking for, what is their name? OpenAI. Yeah, let's pull up OpenAI. All right, so I pulled up OpenAI. So we look at OpenAI's, let's go back because nobody can read that. So if we pull up OpenAI's new, some of their jobs, look at this, back-end software engineer for their intelligence support engineering. And if you look, they have 4 years of professional software engineering. So they're looking for somebody that's a senior. It says former founder and early engineer at a startup who's built a product from scratch is a plus, right? Proficiency in JavaScript, proficiency in backend languages. We use Python. Some experience with Postgres, AI, and ML. Direct experience not required. So look at this. Like how many jobs, I just want you guys to pay attention to how many jobs are asking people to build a product, to have an understanding of what we're going through, right? Especially in the future as AI becomes better at writing code. AI will never replace a human being's ability to understand what their customers are going through and be able to fix that issue. So it's going to be all that more important in the future that people are not studying LeetCode, but they understand business. How do you understand business? Do you go get your MBA? I don't think so. I've heard, I've read many people, many founders talk about how they went and got their MBA, they got their master's degree in AI, and when they were in a room with somebody that had started their own company, or no, yeah, started their own company, that when they're in a room with somebody who started their own company, they didn't hold a candle to that guy. So it's like they spent 200,000 on these degrees to not understand what it actually looks like in the to be in the ring, right? I could teach you courses on how to box, right? I can teach you how to throw a jab. I can teach you how to kick. You know, we could spend years doing that, but nothing is going to be a better experience for you than when you're actually in a real deal fight. And so, yeah, I am super unsatisfied with what I could earn right now as a software engineer. And I do not feel like LeetCode is going to help me. It's going to help me differentiate myself, right? Like I don't want to say the name of the company, but I literally passed 5 out of 6 questions on this last year for this company, and they still didn't hire me. And I had a friend tell me that he went to the same company. He doesn't have FAANG on his resume, and he cheated to get in. And you know they hired him. And like this is a big company. Like I met like my mentor who he said he has on his resume that he saved a company $1 million with his planning. Right? He saved them $1 million, right? He didn't get the job, but somebody who lied his way through, they got the job. And that really made me realize like how I shouldn't feel bad because I studied my ass off on these LeetCode questions. And somebody, you know, I didn't get picked because, you know, think about how many people cheated in high school. Think about maybe, I don't know, but like, yeah, I feel like it's so convoluted. And I've actually heard of people who have been indie hackers, right? They have made a product and a company has reached out to them and they're like, hey, we don't even want you to interview. We'll move you to the direct on site, right? We'll move you to the on site. We'll let you skip the line. Just come through. Because this guy is a specialist now. He understands making Android apps, or he understands how to sell, right? These things are so important, especially, and they're becoming even more important as we go into a future with AI, right? If you are able to critique the business like a product manager, as well as build the software yourself, I think this is what's going to differentiate yourself. And so if you're somebody like that who is looking to join a community of indie hackers, you know, tap in to the Launch League. This is my group, and I guess that's where I'm going into the talk. But let me know in the comments how you guys are going to get a job in 2025 and what you think about the current culture. All right, and so I guess I'm done with that. I got one more video for you guys. I don't know if you're still in here, but just let me know if you want me to answer anything. Let me see. Oh yeah, before I end the video, I just want to say if you want to know what I'm going to do in order to get a job, potentially, what I'm going to spend my 2025 doing, you can watch this video up here, or if you're not live, you can just continue listening. So finally, I am going to spend my 2025 building a product, becoming a founder engineer. I don't know if this is the right route for everybody, but I truly think that I'm ready for senior level projects, right? And I know that if I go back into the industry, I'm going to have to fight my ass off to get a junior level role, right? I could spend this entire year building, working on my LeetCode skills, right? Remember in the other video, I talked about how I knew this guy who spent a year off just doing LeetCode, right? In order to get into one of these great companies. And so I'm like, this is what my competition is doing. I'm not going to spend a year learning LeetCode. LeetCode is fun to a certain extent, but what am I going to do with my time that can potentially differentiate myself from other people? Well, I'm going to be building DonorSync. DonorSync, imagine this. You are a content creator and you want to be able to, excuse me, I don't know why I'm burping what. Imagine you are a content creator and you are receiving donations on various different platforms, right? You're getting donations on Twitch, you're getting donations on Meta, you're getting donations from PayPal, you're getting donations from Cash App. You have to go to those various platforms and be able to check what did a person say. Well, if you know content creators, then you understand that donations can make up their entire income. Let's say if a community, especially for people who may not make a lot of money, donations can really support a person's lifestyle or a content creator's life, pay their rent, and can do all that. And it is a signal of that community's true fans. DonorSync is a tool that will aggregate all these different donations from across platforms all into one spot. That way you don't have to check all these different apps, and you'll be able to have analytics on your different donations on various times, advanced analytics. So it's basically a donation aggregator. DonorSync solves a real pain point for content creators. And number two, it is a great learning opportunity for me. When I left Amazon, if you guys don't know, perhaps I'm showing you the video right here. When I left Amazon, I wanted to show without a bottom of my heart that I was a senior, that I'm ready for these big projects. And I was considering making these big startups, these big AI startups. And then it came to me that DonorSync, it was exhausting thinking about these big businesses, but then DonorSync came to me. I was researching my app idea and I asked, how do I, as I'm becoming a better streamer, how do I aggregate my donations across different platforms? And ChatGPT said, there's currently no tool that does that. And so I thought this was a perfect opportunity for me to build a product that would showcase my ability to design and build products and write software all in one. And so this is what a company is looking for. So DonorSync is not a very hard problem to solve. Honestly, I would expect that a mid-level engineer, at Amazon or Google could solve it. However, it's not, they don't have, unless they are a content creator like me, they don't really understand why this is such a frustrating point. And so it's, you see, I have a lot of affinity for this product or for this project. It's something that I want to use, right? A donation aggregator, as well as I have the skills to do it, right? If I truly believe if I'm a senior engineer, right, that's somebody who's a step above a mid-level engineer, then DonorSync should be a great warm-up project for me. Excuse me, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. DonorSync will be a great warm-up project for me. And so empathy for your customer is extremely important, and making sure that you set realistic goals. I think a senior level project is realistic for me, but I'm doing a lot of learning on the job, right? I'm streaming it, and I'm going to be building. I've never built a product from scratch. I've deployed websites, I've deployed features for systems, but I've never built a product from scratch. So I wanted to start with something a little bit smaller, a little bit more achievable. I don't know if necessarily that it will be, if it's going to be the best project, but I really have high hopes for it. I honestly believe that this project is good enough to make me never have to go back to work for anybody. And I think that's the goal for me at this point, is that I want to build a product so I never have to work in corporate again, because I can't really say, I've been to a lot of different companies and I'm not fit, right? I've worked at Google, I've worked at Dell, I've worked at, Twitch, and I've worked at Amazon, and I still haven't found my home. Well, perhaps the home for me is to create my own home, right? Find like-minded people. And so who knows, like 6 months, my goal is to release the MVP to my Patreon in the next 2 months. And so it's a very ambitious goal, but I think it's a very obtainable goal at the same time, since DonorSync is not that complicated for mid-level engineers. If you guys know anybody who wants to be a part of DonorSync, wants to be a beta tester, I would recommend that you tap into my Patreon. If you want to be a beta tester for DonorSync, all you need to do is sign up for my $10 tier for my Patreon account. And yeah, also have some exclusive. I told you guys I'm recruiting a community. If you want to be in there for $50 a month, you can talk with me. I'm going to be meeting twice a month in order to talk with my community in case you have an indie hacker project. But my goal is to build this product. And guess what? Even if I fail, right, I will have something on my portfolio to show companies that I am a seasoned engineer, that I am capable of building a product from the ground up. And so this has tremendous upside for me. But at the best part, it'll be a product that I never have to go back to work, right? I make way more money than I did when I was working at Amazon. And at the lowest part, I can go to OpenAI and I can show them that I built a product up from the ground up, and I can potentially, like, if you look at OpenAI's job, right, for their senior level candidates, they're giving out $400,000, I believe. If you look at their, I forget what website I was using, but if you look at their, let me see. So look at it. Let's pull it up right now. OpenAI salaries. Right. So if you look at OpenAI salaries, right? I'm assuming that I'm not entry level, right? I'm not a student. the 4 years of experience I just showed you on their other job, right? Let's go back. In case you did not see in my other video, right? They're asking for founding engineers. Oh, let me see. This is the wrong one. Which one? Okay, look at this. If you look here, and let me do that. All right, so now you can see former founder, early engineer at a startup who's built a product from scratch is a plus, right? If you pay attention, you see that somebody who can build a product up from scratch, even if they don't know AI and ML, is something that OpenAI wants, right? I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact, that that's 500,000 right here. Let me pull that up. So even if I fail, I will set myself up to be at better companies, right? Not doing LeetCode. And if I win, maybe I make the 500K myself, right? Peter Levels is making 50K. I think I saw that he was making 50K a month from remote OK. And so 50K times 10 times 12, right, is 600,000. So imagine being able to make 600,000 and not be burdened with certain things, right? I think this is the future. I think this is the way to go about your career in 2025. Some of you do not have the funds to support a business or to be taking the time out that I'm doing, and that's okay. I think so. My goal is to transition in as a contractor in the industry, right? I think for the rest of my time, until I've like fully fleshed out my idea, I want to be a contractor in this industry, so that I can spend 40 hours a week doing, pay enough to pay my bills, and then I want to be able to spend the rest of the time on my business. And so, if you're a young student and you are looking for a job and you want somebody to mentor you and you want to be a part of my community, definitely tap into my Patreon. Or if you're just somebody who wants to test DonorSync, right? You're tired of you're a content creator and you're tired of looking at donations on all these different platforms. You're my target audience. And so that's my goal. I think, unfortunately, I wanted to be able to build a part of DonorSync in front of you today, but I'm still setting some things up. But I'm going to change it on my YouTube channel right now that I am going to build DonorSync by February, or build an MVP, launch the MVP to my Patreon by February 1st. And so you want to stay tuned for the channel. Excuse me. You want to stay tuned to the channel because we got doing the channel and running this business, running the channel and making this business is very challenging. And I really appreciate you guys' support. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys can enjoy the show, or maybe come hang out with me. So let me answer my guy's question real quick. Let me see. Is it showing? Okay. As a CS student, I'm just soaking everything in. I had an internship last summer and accepted the return offer. I'm glad for that. I like your take. Being just as good at coding is not enough. You're completely right, Joseph. So I want to show you. There's this guy. I'm going to show you guys something really cool, guys. And he's an inspiration for me. LinkedIn chat base. So there's this guy, his name about people. Of course, they're showing ads. This guy, his name is Yasser Elside. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he failed his internship. I'm guessing he's failed his internship at Meta, right? He failed his internship at Meta, and then he created this business around ChatGPT, right? And now it's $1 million company with like 11 employees, and he's been doing it for the last 2 years, right? So I want you guys to really soak in that if you failed your internship, right? There's other things at play. There's corporate politics. Maybe I'm not gonna say like in my opinion, I failed my Google internship, right? Because I wasn't ready, right? But I truly believe my mindset is less conformist. Like I'm not really a color in the lines guy, right? I'm an innovator. I like breaking down barriers, inspiring people. And those things are quite, those things are not appreciated in interviews, right? Like interviews, they test for perfection. That's why people cheat, right? And then they see these guys who come in and cheat and they suck at their jobs. And so they think to themselves, hey, let's make the interview even harder. But that just ruins, it's just dilutes the whole process. And so there are people that game the system and cheat and do whatever. And yeah, I don't think that, especially studying LeetCode is not the path. And definitely, people cheat and people have friends on the inside to help them get jobs that don't have to go through LeetCode. So by this way, if you build a project, if you become an indie hacker, right, you continue following my channel. I think these are real lessons, right? Imagine I build a app with 1,000 users, right? These are going to be lessons for you to build your own business, right? Like, what does it take for a solo entrepreneur to maintain an app of 1,000 people? And so I really appreciate you guys. If you could like the video, if you got anything out of this, comment and share, because I really think I could give something to the world that's a lot more beautiful than I ever could at Amazon. And yeah, it's on my own terms. It's a product that only I can make. No, not only I can make, but it's only a product that I understand best at this point. And so really excited. Shout out to my brother. But I think with that, I'm going to end the stream. Unless you guys have any more questions, I'll be up out of here. Maybe not. Well, thank you guys so much for enjoying or being a part of the stream. I don't know if you've enjoyed it. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I did a sound check and it was working on my side, but I guess it wasn't working in StreamYards. But looking really excited for this year. Hope you guys have a wonderful new year. And let's get to work. Deuces.